The music industry will never be fair. I repeat, the music industry will never be fair. With so many conversations surrounding artists and record companies, the thought came to me, can a record company ever be fair? And then I thought, do you even need a record company anymore? The music industry was built on backs of artists who would never know their worth. If you were to have a scale and weight it out and say this many artists versus this many artists who got the money they deserve or who are well off and versus the artists who are broke, it'll be so lopsided. It'll be pointless. And even if you look at the people who made enough money, they're so mentally fucked up that you probably will wonder, was it worth it? Let me say this. To ask a record company to be fair with their artists would be like asking a slave master to be nice to his slaves. It just don't work like that. They literally have a thing called the masters. Like the masters to someone record. Like for those who don't know, the master is like the original recording of a record. That's how you hear songs in movies. Every time you hear a song is deprived from that. That's like the original copy. You could do what you want when you have that. And most of the time the artists don't have that at all. But listen to that. There's something called the masters. Like even if it wasn't like some like slave shit and just some overbearing I'm your fucking god type shit, why would you choose that name? Like why would you choose that name for that? Like I looked into it, I couldn't find any like substantial thing that like made sense to me besides like some slave mentality type shit. So just think about that and when you enter this type of business, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, the record company isn't all bad. They help you get your records out there. They help you become a household name. They help you become rich. But they also put you in a spot where like you got to tour the rest of your life to even make a living. Or, man, it's so many great artists who are like so fucking great and like so classic and have all these classics and they don't even own a piece of it. Like they don't even, they're probably mad when it gets used because they don't get enough of it that they deserve. And it's their art. It's their creation. Yeah, you helped me fund it. That's cool. Like, that's awesome. You helped me fund it. You helped me get out here. But come on, man. Like, it should at least be equal. Like, you make as much money off of me as I make off you. So, but you make way more. Like, you make way more. I get a small ass percentage of my worth. Like, that shit sucks, man. Like, especially for the black artists. The black artists really got it bad. We come and go. We give up the culture. We give up everything and don't own anything. So, like, it always bugs me out when I'm looking back at, like, old, I'm ranting now, but it always bugs me out when I'm looking back at old, like, 60 documentaries on groups, black groups and things of that nature. And then you always see the fuck coming. You always see the fucking record coming. Here's the Cadillac, and here's the chain, or here's blah, blah, blah. And then when you, oh shit, man, I ain't really got no money, no tangible, lucrative, liquid money, but you got this fucking Cadillac, and you go to ask them, and they say, oh yeah, but we gave you that. Remember the Cadillac? Remember how you were on tour? Remember how you blah, blah, blah? Like, it's a contract to keep you fucking enslaved. Like, you just working and working like a fucking hamster on a wheel. Like, you just working and working and working and working to never get back what you deserve. That's just, it's wicked, man. It's wicked. I'll give you a crazy example. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is the biggest artist of all time, the highest selling artist of all time. You can't get no bigger than Michael Jackson. You just can't with Michael Jackson at all. Like, you couldn't even fathom. They had this nigga as a slave. Like, if out of all the shit that he's done, like, bought all the Beatles shit and bought all these bought all these records and shit, and he couldn't even own himself. Like, that gotta be frustrating as fuck. Like, he even showed frustration with his label Sony when I guess it was around the Invincible album, but he was calling Tommy Mottola. He literally called this man mean, racist, and devilish. Like these are the words out his lips about, I think Tommy Mottola was the president of Sony at the time. And he's Michael Jackson, bro. Like Michael Jackson shouldn't even have to go through that. They had fucking Mike on tour at fucking 103 talking about this is it. And they literally worked this nigga to death. That's crazy. And he's Michael Jackson. So imagine what's going on with little so-and-so who just got his deal, who's coming from nothing in the hood. They promise him, they sign him a contract, give him like $50,000. Like, man, that changed that man's life. But he probably fucked contractually for the rest of his life. Like, it's wicked, man. It's like a predatory business. Like, they go for the youth. That's why they always push the old people out. Like, it's a youth-driven business. Like, the youth don't know no better. And I'm just not just talking about fucking youth as in kids. I'm just talking about adults as well. Like, you're 21, 22, fuck it, even older. Like, you're starving. Like, what you gonna say? No. Prince literally wrote slave on his face. And he's like also one of the greatest artists of all time. And the shit that they do with his fucking catalog after his death is just disgusting. I'm pretty sure Prince wouldn't agree to have his song in fucking a Colgate commercial. That's just not even his thing. And on top of that, they took Prince's whole fucking, like, Prince used to like do the bundle thing back in the day, like early with merchandise and the tickets, the albums, and like t-shirts or whatever. And they took that nigga whole idea and 360 did, and the artists don't get none of that now. They took an artist idea and like still dicking the artists around. It's fucking crazy. Like, it's nuts. Look at artists like Kanye West right now, who's going off about not owning his records and owning his publishing. And his first 6 albums, he sees 18 to 23% of revenue after the record company recoups what he owes, and he goes over his album budget every time. It's like, nigga, how the fuck I'm gonna do this? Like, and then I go on tour, and like, and you gotta, like, it's like I'm always gonna be in the hole. And he's a fucking billionaire. And on crazy part about that is, he said out his own mouth, I asked them, how much is my publishing? They gave me a number. I said, okay, I'll pay that. And they said, no, we're not going to sell it to you. That's some other type mental prison type shit. That's like, but why though? It's mine. It's like, and I have the money. I get it. I signed a contract when I was younger. I get it. But now I'm a different person. We can renegotiate these contracts, and I have the money that you asked for. But no, you're probably going to sell it to some French guy. Even fucking Taylor Swift. She's fighting for her shit. It's to show you that even the great artists, the biggest artists you could think of, are all getting fucked. And so imagine what's happening to the lower tier artists who don't stand a chance. Like, they don't even stand a chance. But in a time where we literally have the internet at our fingers, we're seeing more and more independent artists. Every independent artist, let me rephrase this. Every artist is not built to be independent. To be independent, you have to do a lot. You got to your own budgets. You have to do your own videos. You have to do your own press. You got to get your own PR. You got to do everything yourself. You have to build a team yourself to do that. And that's like the worst nightmare for artists. An artist just want to be an artist. Like, that's why I became an artist, so I won't have to crunch numbers. Like, so I won't have to do this. So I won't have to think about this. Like, this is... So that's another catch. But you have cases where independent artists are fucking killing it. You got fucking Chance the Rapper. You got Russ. Like, more and more independent artists are coming and springing up because they see this shit, man. We've been seeing our fucking ancestors get fucked in the music industry for our whole lives. And they put it right in our faces. Like, they don't hide it. Like, it's right there. Like, it's something in the contract, inducement or something like that. And it's like, sign this so let you know, the courts know that you understand the shit, that fucked up shit we put in that contract. This is another contract that you signed. Crazy. That's how you know you're doing some bad shit. When you got to sign another contract for the contract just to say, you sure you read that shit? It's crazy. In the end, man, these record companies are never going to care about the artist. Point blank, period. It's a business. They feel they put money into you. This is why they invented the 360 deal. They would put money in the artist, and then the artists made more money outside of music than they did within the music. Like 50 Cent make hundreds of $millions off vitamin water, and Jimmy Iovine doesn't get a piece of that. You don't think he feels some type of way? maybe. But it's never going to be fair. It's never going to be what it's supposed to be. Because even when we get people, man, even when we get our own in there, they do the same shit. They're a victim of circumstance, man. It's the trickle down effect. It's the trickle down effect. So it'll never be fair. I don't even think it's built to be fair. So best bet is know what you're signing, or go the independent route. Yeah, it's gonna be a long, winding road, but you'll own everything. You'll probably be happier in the end. Look at somebody like Tech Nine. Tech Nine's been killing it independent for years. Years. And his shit, he don't give a fuck about no label. Like Nipsey Hussle, you know how long it took Nipsey Hussle to sign with a label? And he was selling albums for $100, $1,000. You can do it. It just takes time, dedication. But everybody's not like that. So if you gotta sign with these people and these buildings, you gotta know what you're getting into. Like you gotta know what you're getting into, and that's pretty much it. This has been another episode of Tatum Takes. Every week, new content. What you think? Do we think record companies can be fair? Do we need record companies anymore? Do you feel bad for artists who sign bad deals? Let me know. Comment, like, subscribe. I'm Tatum. This is my take. Signing off.